there is some innovation that we should be hearing from. Do you care to share what's the future? What are you looking at currently?
Sure. We as you saw from the video, we make mainly men's clothing, some women. So it's the shirt I'm wearing now, it's the jacket I'm wearing now, it's trousers, pants. Obviously, the shortage back in March, April timeframe were personal protective equipment, PPEs, as everyone says. And one of my team members said, I think we should go after this market. And I'm like, we've never done something like this. Okay, why don't you go ahead and go? Because we were talking about bankruptcies, forecast, cutting production capacity. Go ahead and run with it. So she did. She went and looked at it. And then 4 weeks later, she came back and said, I think there's opportunity, but we're moving a little bit slow to capture that. And that's when I jumped in and said, okay, she really needed some help to pull the people together. Before I go to that, if you don't mind, you're talking about change. I think I'm very fortunate to have a very strong team, a very good team, because if this lady didn't come to me and say, let's do PPEs, I personally would not have thought of myself. I had too many other things to worry about. And this is, I always believe when you have a really strong team that, as you said, has a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, in time of crisis is when you need that. It's really thinking differently, not like frozen stuff, don't know what to do. And I think that's an asset everyone should have and think about, So back to the discussion on PPE. So we quickly said, okay, what's needed? Oh, we need to do disposable masks. Everyone's looking for disposable masks, but it's actually against our DNA in that we focus a lot on sustainability. We started looking at wastewater treatment plants 25 years ago. We implemented the first one in our factory 25 years ago when no one cared about wastewater at that time. People were dumping raw, untreated water into the rivers, and that was never us. And we're like, wow, the number of masks that you're going to wear every day is in billions that you're using across the world. And sometimes people use more than one mask a day. And we said, let's come up with a mask, but let's make it washable. So the first thing is, don't be tempted to go with where the market was heading at that time, which was disposable masks. And because we felt that the way to create, we knew the technology to create disposable masks was buying machines. It's automated. You don't need a lot of human. Now, our factories, we have a lot of workers. We should utilize our extra capacity that we have during this downtime. We have workers. So why don't we actually sew a mask that fits people a lot better than the disposable mask that we've all been, experiencing when we had a cold before. In Asia, people wearing masks when you get sick, right? That was quite common. But it just wasn't that comfortable. So we said, why don't we do that? So number one, we said, okay, don't forget about disposable. Let's go to something reusable. And second thing is, let's learn about what is protection. What does protection mean in the case of a virus? And you'll be very surprised to hear that if you're wearing a reusable mask now, a washable mask, that most likely it does not protect you against virus. So what do I mean? What do I mean by that? It's a filter. You need a filter to filter out the viruses. And most of the masks, if it has something called particle matter, PM 2.5, it was designed for road pollution. When you're bicycling, you don't want the pollution coming into your lungs. So in Hong Kong, that's what people measure, PM 2.5 and PM 10. That's a roadside monitor. But you will be surprised to hear that viruses or bacteria is down to PM 0.1 to 0.3. So we said, okay, find a filter that filters out 0.1 to 0.3 micron. And we're like, okay, where could we find that? So we got the filter, but the problem is you wash it once or twice, it breaks down. So we came out over the next 2 months. I said, let's not be first to the market. Let's come up with the best mask we can do using our engineering expertise. We came up with a mask, 20 washes. This was back in about June. So we were selling masks to people, B2B, which is what we normally do, B2B business. And we were getting some traction, but not as much as we wanted. And at the same time, people are saying, 20 washes, how do I keep track 20 washes? I don't know how to keep track of it. So I was thinking, how do we do that? Do we use like an electric toothbrush where the color of the brush, it fades, so it's time to change it? And my team's like, we can't figure that out in such short a time. We don't have that. We're talking to chemical companies on how to do colors. And I challenged our R&D team, said, can we do more than 20 washes? Why is it after 20 washes it breaks down? What is the property? And I'm pleased to say that we're going to launch a 100 wash. You can machine wash and tumble dry which is a lot harder than a mask. Most people hand wash. If you do hand wash, it's definitely more than 100 washes. So we have a mask
Right.
that we're going to launch that is washable, has a 0.1 PM 0.1 filter, and you can wash it at least 100 times in the machine and tumble dry it, and the filter still works.
Wow. And we have the privilege of having it here.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys like the samples. So this is, as you can see, you can probably hear me still. It's a 3D.
Yeah.
It's a 3D shape, right? It covers the chain down here. It covers the sides very well, and it gives you enough breathing room so that your mouth isn't constantly touching the mask. You have room inside the mask. When you speak,
True.
you know, it doesn't irritate your mouth. And
it's
again, we're
soft to touch.
Yes.
I mean, it's very soft to touch. It's very comfortable, and like you were saying, there is quite a bit of space between when I speak and the fabric, which is very different from the other types of reusable masks that I've seen in the market. So, I mean, the minute I got it, Mayway and myself, we both have a sample from Roger, and the minute we put it on, we're like, we love it.